Hi, another day, another video. Today I came here to talk about something that's very important and very common amongst, everyone, even in every age, it doesn't matter whether you are a teenager or you're a young adult or, an elderly person. We are all suffering from this thing. And I have also been battling with it for, before I had the answer to it, I've been battling with it for the past 9 months, and it's consuming things. Whenever you look around your house, everything that is placed in your house is placed for you to be distracted. And especially what we have is, before we had televisions, right? I mean, before we had radios, and when you have radios, you always know what's going on in the world. And the more you get sucked into it, the more you tend to forget about your own world. It's just like right now, these days, how we use our phones. If you're always on your phone and you're using it, you don't actually get to pay attention to the surroundings around you, even your own self. You know how when you have like a family member or someone that is close to you and you don't see them for a certain time, and as years pass by and they see you and be like, oh, you've grown, but you don't tend to realize it. That's how the telephone is, and that's how technology is. We use these phones, and whenever we are logged in, it's like our real world is logged off. That's the reason why people grow up these days and they're still children inside, right? Because if you just imagine, how many years have you been with your phone? Like I was thinking about this very deeply, right? People, especially religious people, they'll be like, oh, I love God the most. But you see them spending or giving their time, most of their time, to the phone that they use. Like, think about it. Which thing has been with you the most your whole life? Not your mother, not your parents. It's not your girlfriend. The only thing that is around you most is your technology, your phone. That's what you give your time, and that's the reason why they've created all the stuff to distract us. Right? Have you ever sat down and said, okay, how will my life be without a phone today? Or just 2 hours? Or how will my life be if I put my phone down and I have nothing now? Do I still have friends I can go out to or call or do this? Or have people around my community or do people in my community know my name, that even if something happens to me, they'll know? Do I have any certain sort of importance that you have in your community, or some help that you've given to your community? Or even if you don't have a phone, can you genuinely have fun with yourself rather than just watching movies and taking all this information and consuming these things? And I always suffer with this problem. Like, today is Sunday, right? And every Sunday I try to sit down for some hours without no phone and just sit with my mind in silence and just think, mostly about how my week went. And most people don't do this. People just wake up and they just go on with their normal routine. And it's hard. It's a difficult thing to do. It's like when you put it down, you don't want to stay with your mind. It's difficult to stay with your mind. And that is what they don't want. Even Rockefeller said it. I don't want a nation of thinkers, I want a nation of workers. The most powerful thing that you have is your brain. And they know that, okay, if people don't have nothing to do, or if people don't have things to distract them, they are going to think. And the more you think, the more you become creative. And there's another aspect to it. That's why there's no creativity anymore. Everyone is just consuming same things. We are all hooked. There is no one that is going to say, okay, fuck this shit, I'm not going to consume none of this thing. I'm going to use my own experience, right, from what I've experienced in my life, and create something new. And that's how you get something different. But if we are all looking at the same thing and consuming the same stuff and we are trying to create, what do you think is going to come out? Be the outcome? Same thing. It's sad because we are the generation that's going to take care of, the world next. And when you see the path or the routes that we are heading to, is very sad. It's very sad. Our phones are supposed to be tools, and that's how you have to train yourself with. If you have a phone and you are not making money off it, I'm sorry, but the phone is using you. If you're on Instagram and you are just posting pictures without making, or so your friends can see where you are, I'm sorry, you have a problem. It's a social media platform. Use it for your own benefit, or use it for the benefits of society. Change something. Like, think about it. Are you just gonna be in, go to school, get your degree, work, have a family, and die? Like, I want you to sit down. I want you guys to do an exercise today. Just sit down with yourself for at most, because it's difficult. I even heard myself doing this. The most I've gone is 18 hours. I woke up and I sat down, and I don't recommend this for anyone. But I found some deep stuff about myself, and I changed that. And if the more you keep doing this, the more you become connected with yourself, and you know what you truly want. Because the only thing you see is your world. That's the problem. We see a lot of people's lives, and today we want this. Tomorrow we log on to Instagram or YouTube and we see someone say, okay, you get confused. But once you start living it, you see your community and, okay, this is my life. This is my life. Regardless of what's going on in the world, this is my life. And if you want to make a change, you will know. You have clarity in your mind. It's all consuming. You have to stop. It's just so like I was saying, the exercise, just if you can do at most 3 hours, just sit with yourself, silence, don't let anyone bother you. If there's a chance you can get a silent room, sit with yourself and just think, man. Like, nobody thinks. Nobody thinks. Like, critically, that's what I mean. It's like I was talking to this guy who was like religious, right? And he was, playing this gospel songs, and not to judge him, or I'm coming, onto religious people, but I want people to have this conscious thinking that, okay, I'm listening to these songs, I'm reading this book. Have you ever sat down and asked yourself, like, why am I a Christian? Why do I believe this? Where does this belief come from? Am I a Christian just because of, it's something that was existing in my family? When they gave it to me, I had to follow it. We are humans. You have to ask questions. You have to think for yourself. If you are someone without principles, you just be a sheep and following what everyone is doing. And if you are doing that, I'm sorry, but you will just be like everyone else. But if you want that, that's cool. But if you want something exceptional, you have to ask questions, right? It's like there was this example I can give you guys. I was talking with certain friends of mine, and I was saying, look, school is a scam. Which is school is just, they sell you information. School is just a barrier between you and the job that you want. And just say a bunch of information. It's just like a course, online course. It's just a scam, and they just waste your time. Degree is nothing. If you teach yourself how to make money, you don't need school. But anyways, I was telling, my colleagues in class about how school is a scam. And we were, having this conversation, and we headed towards McDonald's to have like a lunch or so. And there was this one particular girl, right? She brought, I don't know, we were talking about money, and she's like, well, money doesn't buy happiness, right? Everyone knows this. Money doesn't buy happiness. And we were just arguing about how I was saying money buy happiness in, some certain level. So money doesn't buy happiness. And after 3 minutes, right, we were at McDonald's and we all ordered food, and she was the only one that didn't order food. And so I asked her, why haven't you ordered food? And she's like, I don't have money. And it just baffled me. I'm like, you are the same person that just said money doesn't buy happiness. If you had money and you bought that McDonald's or whatever that you want in this store called McDonald's, you would be happy for some minute. awesome moment. So people believe these things and they don't even understand where it comes from. Like, we just get told and we just go with it. Ask everything that you've been told as a child. Question it. Question the educational system. I want to have this life. Is school going to give it to me? Like, if you look at your parents, and I'm eternally grateful for my parents, but if you want an ancestral life and your parents don't have that, it means they don't have the answers to that. Or maybe they knew the answers, but there's certain things that they don't know, or certain routes that they went to that's not working, right? So everything that you've been told as a child, I want you to question everything that you believe. Question it. Even on social media, whatever you see, don't believe the news. It's lies. Don't believe the news. Whatever you see on social media is a lie. I want you to have this this knowledge, right? When you go on Instagram or YouTube, every single video that you see, right? Every single video that you see is posted by a human being like you. Someone behind a desk or somewhere editing, putting songs behind it, and they just post it, right? And I do this. I have an Instagram theme page. I do this. I can wake up one day and just post something, and the audience will think it's true. And that's what the people at the higher level do. Once you start producing things and stop consuming, you see how the world works. You see how people are easily swayed, and you can just deceive everyone. And that's what they do to you. They give you come to this world and they plug you to TV. You watch all these TV shows which is produced by them, because they own all the Hollywood actors, the Hollywood studios. They own everything. So whatever narrative they want you to believe, that's what they'll produce for you to believe. Who the hell said we need to buy flowers for women? Like, that's a no. Who said if you need to go on dates, you have to go on, dress nice, get a restaurant? These things are just, like, when you think of it, it doesn't make sense. Even I have friends that smoke, right? Like, they have just cigarettes and hookah and stuff, and they can't even live without it. I'm like, do you know this? You don't actually need this thing. Like, we don't need to smoke in our life. It's something we don't need. Human beings don't need this. But they found a way that they found tobacco, and they made it in a nice way, and put in magazines and movies. Even when you watch Peaky Blinders, how they smoke, it becomes cool. So even if you don't want to smoke, or you're someone who's not a smoker, you would like to smoke, and they make money off it. I've seen people spend most of their money on cigarettes more than food, and it's bad. They are hooked on it. See, the system is set for us to fail. So if you don't snap out of it, you always be in it. And they do their job very well. Like, sometimes even me that I'm speaking right now, sometimes I find myself, and I thank God, or I'm becoming more aware of the things. I'll be using my phone, then it'll just click like, what are you doing? Until I put my phone down. So I want you to have an exercise today. It's Sunday, as you guys can see. It's quiet here. I was sitting down and just thinking, I'm like, I have to share this with people. I only come here to share value. And if it's not anything, I'm not gonna be here and just post, trendy stuff, because I don't really care about those stuff. I don't care. If I'm not doing something that's helping me or helping someone, what am I living for? So that's the exercise for today. If you have 3 hours, just sit down. If you're a busy person, I don't know, you can find time and do this exercise for yourself and see how, you think without your phone, quiet, and just think about how your life is, where you are, what kind of job are you doing, is this the job that you want? If you die today, will you regret it about the choices that you made, right? Did you have a problem with your wife today, or did you have a problem with your girlfriend today? How are you going to solve it so it doesn't happen again? These things will happen and we don't contemplate on it, and then we just distract ourselves with other things. And when that thing happens and you don't have the solution, you have to think. You have to think. This is the only powerful thing that you need. This is the only thing that you need to be rich, to whatever you want to build is this. And if this thing is not focused on you, or if it's distracted and it's gone somewhere, that's something that's very bad. So as always, my name is Salim, and if you're new here, welcome to my channel, and don't forget to subscribe. And for the old viewers or the people that have been with me, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.